Let me see. What else is going on out here in this world? Okay, we do gotta get to some of the Diddy stuff. So the Diddy shit's getting hella deep, people. Hella deep. Now, what's kind of happening is that because Cassie withdrew her lawsuit, a lot more entities are seemingly coming out. Obviously, Diddy called 2 more lawsuits, but there's a lot more entities floating around, and people are really starting to, it's almost starting to look like a new Me Too movement for the 90s and early 2000s, where they're looking into certain characters who got away on the first like Me Too wave, and they're trying to get him now. Obviously, Diddy's at the center of it, but it's not only Diddy. They're looking at other people that's kind of connected to it. Like, for example, we do know in one of the lawsuits, Aaron Hall is accused with Diddy of taking turns to allegedly rape a woman, right? Now, remember I told you, like, I don't know if everybody got NDAs or everybody's pussy or everybody think their car about to be blown up and shit like that, but nobody really wants to come out and speak. It's really odd. However, someone seemingly has came out a bit. Let me see. Well, first, is Gospel City open right now? So on November 25th, and this is what I'm saying, shit's about to get serious a bit. Gloria Velez posted this: South Florida, 1993 and 1994, teen clubs. Whoa. By the way, this is getting dark because it's not only going into grooming and perverted behavior and obviously in some realms of sexual assault, it's getting into pedophilia. Now, by the way, this is one of the most, and I'm going to be honest, you know how y'all said, like, AQ the only one to speak on this? This is one of the things that nobody wants to speak about in the industry. A lot of our favorites, a lot of like, the ones we put up on the pedestal, they're on the Mount Rushmores, they have been known to have sex or courted or dealt with women underage. Now, it's been scrubbed from their legacy. Nobody talks about it. When they're discussed and awarded and heralded as great human beings, nobody talks about, hey, listen, you were a perv when you went and got this girl who was 15. Nobody talks about it anymore. So now Gloria Velez is throwing a curveball into this mix. Here we go. She says South Florida, 1993 teen clubs, where the pedophilia men scouted and groomed. It was their playground. Now, who's Gloria Velez? Obviously, I said she's a former video vixen, but she is the baby mama of Aaron Hall. Who's Aaron Hall? Aaron Hall is accused with Aaron Hall is accused with Diddy of raping a woman or taking turns to do it. So now we're getting some linkage. She's the baby mama of Aaron Hall. So let's go to Google or YouTube. The baby mama of Aaron Hall, Gloria Velez, Aaron Hall. And she's done interviews talking about Aaron Hall, by the way. Now, obviously, you know, she didn't really name a name here, but a lot of people thought she was talking about, you know, Uncle Luke, who we'll get to at a certain point. But here we go. Let me see. Yeah, Vlad got mad flashbacks.
Wait, did you know that I was his baby mother the time I met you?
I did not know. Aaron Hall, I did not know that was your baby mama. I had no idea.
I don't believe that.
I told him that.
I know you did.
Right. I told him. I was like, hey, man, I didn't know that was your baby mama. But the reason why we laughing about that, because apparently something went viral. Would you like to share with the audience?
Oh, my God. Okay, so as you know, on Vlad TV, Vlad gets people flustered. And he flustered my son's father. And my son's father said a few things that were not so pleasant about me.
Oh.
But this is 8 years ago. I say this in response to that we're in a better place now. He apologized to me and my son. He's great to my son. And now we have a grandchild.
All right, let's get to the real shit, man. She basically was saying, Gloria, she was saying she was getting abused and all that type of shit. Let's get to it. Oh, my bad. Oh, shit. This clip didn't age well.
She was still Gloria Velez. We can call Luke right now. You know what I mean?
He said it in an interview a while back.
Look what I'm saying to you. She was standing up with a Jamaican rapper named Mad Lion.
Okay, I know who that is.
Big Pun, Fat Joe, Method Man, like whoever you speak to, just ask them how I did it. I got out the limo, grabbed her hand, went upstairs and fucked her. Luke didn't never fucking introduce me to anybody.
What?
Okay.
In his life. I love Luke to death.
I know Joe Budden used to date her.
He just had on.
But can't nobody look? The reason why he's saying he introduced me to, because it's a good thing to say. Okay, I introduced Aaron Hall to this girl.
that is a
I
good
took
thing.
her. Me and Gloria's cool. We got cool in 2 weeks. You feel me? I'm a boss. I ain't gonna argue with you about no shit. And you an umbilical cord, bitch. You fucking 35, 36 years old. I'm not gonna disrespect you, but I'm a boss motherfucker. And I love my son, so I ain't gonna break probation by fucking with you and not being able to speak to him again.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I speak to a nigga that got dick and balls, he can never say introduce me to no bitch. Nobody ain't never introduced me to a bitch in their life. I wish they did. The thing is that you can ask Gloria though. It has nothing to do with me. I don't like talking about no man.
No.
We both Adam first.
You know something? I just remembered that Gloria had tattooed Aaron's right above
In
her.
black, red, and green. She was tall. She was big. Blonde. So she gonna say Luke is lying. You feel me?
Okay. So now this brings in Aaron. Aaron. This brings in Uncle Luke. And by the way, this is like so really convoluted because she basically
Life. So yeah, let's get right into it, okay? So
Absolutely.
it's the year 1996. I am dating Aaron Hall. I am 17 years old and pregnant at the time. I know. We're actually in LA, and he was going to sign with Death Row Records, okay? So he's recording, doing music, he's doing video shoots, and I was, part of it. We were living out in a hotel, because we wasn't, living there. We was just recording, and he was just getting a feel of the whole, everybody's going to sign with Death Row. You got Pac, you got Casey and JoJo, you got Snoop. It was amazing.
Right.
To be a part, So, Aaron's super talented, and they want him to be a part of Death Row conversation. Ever forget our conversation about this industry? I mean, me being 17 and all this is in front of me, and it's a wow factor. All these celebrities and in the studio and video shoots, and this man is so deeply spiritual, so connected with himself and the worldly things that. He buys me a white dress to go to the event, right? And the day of the event now, we're getting dressed, and he's extra antsy and very mean to me. I mean, he was mean, but he was mean. And everybody knows he was, violent, verbally, physically, emotionally. But you got to understand, I was 17, naive, young, so I loved him. When you love someone, you make excuses for people, he treats you so well one minute and the next minute he could be so ugly, and then you hold on to the goodness in them, So that's what I did throughout the violence in our relationship. So the day of it, we're getting dressed and we're leaving the hotel, and we're waiting outside in front for our limo. And Casey and JoJo was standing outside waiting for their limo as well. And Aaron was just grabbing me and just being aggressive, and I hate this dress. And I'm like, you bought it for me. Like, what are you, like, you crazy? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you he was so angry. He wanted to argue with me, but I wasn't giving it to him. I was not. There was something eerie in the air for me, that it was just something different. And Casey and JoJo was talking to him and trying to calm him down and pray with him. So right there, that was kind of a God sent of angel of both of them, trying to calm him down, pray with him, talk to him, happening to me, but he's still taking me to the venue. I went over this over and over in my head. Why would he take me? Why would he put a white dress on me? It's like, dressing the lamb and giving her to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has different levels of love or how they should love someone. Obviously, he doesn't know how to love right. But I would never put my loved one in that situation, knowing that you're going into the wolves' den. You know.
I'm not. This is not even an attempt to be funny, but it sounds like she was going to a freak off. Keep in mind the era that this is.
You know what's going to happen. You know what they want to do. But you should have take me home on a plane or say, leave me alone. Don't ever talk to me. I play that back over and over again. The ride to I could honestly remember how I felt, the scared young girl, petrified, just emotionally distraught, but so in love with him at the time. Literally in love with him. And, I want to give him excuses. That's what a lot of women do when you're abused. We give them excuses after excuses, but, maybe he felt obligated to. He wanted to be famous. He wanted them to be accepted. But you got to have limits and sacrifices, to want to be rich or to want
sacrifices. Hold on now.
To be famous. You got to have limits. You can't. That limit of sacrificing a person shouldn't be ever.
Right.
So we go in the car, we drive to the venue, we pull up. He grabs my hand. The same thing he always says, look at me, don't look at no man. An aggressive person that, super controlling. The same routine. We walk in. So when we walk in before we enter the venue, of all the people and the cameras and all the family that's sitting down at the tables, this old lady was walking out, being escorted out actually. A mature lady, she was in the 70s or 80s year old, had an entourage, and she stopped Aaron and I. She grabbed my belly, and I was only 4 months, but super skinny. I wasn't even showing. And she says, don't worry, your son is going to be all right. He's going to be healthy and he's going to be good, which we didn't know if we're having a boy or a girl. Then she looks at Aaron and tells him, you know what? You be good to her and you protect her. And she prayed on us. That's God. God sent an angel right there because he's rich. So he puts a chair, sit here. I said, okay. But he was serious and aggressive. I was like, damn, he's like, I'm still have no idea. I'm oblivious to what's going on or what's going to happen or what they tend to do. This female, runs towards Aaron. And then he walks her halfway, grabs her, and they start talking. And they're in each other's face. So a 17-year-old's mind, you know what I'm thinking? They fucking. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right? She's approaching, she's screaming, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm here, I'm pregnant. Right. She's upset, Aaron's a hoe, he's the nasty man, you know what I mean? Right. I'm like, listen, what's so crazy and mind-boggling to me, I would never hit Aaron back, even though he was physically, physical with me. But anybody else that would confront me, I would fight. I was a fighter. I was brave. But with him, I didn't step up for myself until I had my child. Then I was like, enough is enough. But so when she was screaming, and I was like, what up, bitch? Let's go, So that was my mentality. That's hot. Even though I was pregnant, I was like, let's go, bitch. So I'm thinking Aaron's fucking her. She's upset. I'm here. He brought me here. So the mood changed. People started moving towards Aaron and I. Men. And then I said, ooh, it felt eerie. I said, something's different. This is not I'm fucking your man. When you're hard, you feel something's wrong. Right. Okay. And then, so I shut up quick. I was looking at the room and seeing, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's really going on. Because I see the fear now in Aaron's face. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So I see the fear that it's more than just they fucking, right? So within the commotion and people started moving towards, and you see the dudes, Pac runs. He runs towards Aaron, grabs up the girl, and says, nobody fucking touch her. Points to me. And he goes, she's family, she's Aaron's wifey. I told you nobody fucking touches her. So I looked and I was like, my mind's like, what the fuck is going on? He drags her out the side of the door. There's always back entrance to lead outside. And it was a back entrance, and a lot of people follow. When Pac moves, people follow. And they followed him outside. And then Aaron standing in front of me like a guard dog. He was like, don't move, don't say shit. And I'm like, yeah, I had no idea what was going on. So we waited patiently until Pac came inside. And, you know, my heart's racing because, you know, your senses tell you something's wrong, that this is not right, you know, especially the people that you see around in the back. You know, it's not like we're in blue tuxedos, you know, we're in an all-white party. You know, we got some thugs, we got some gangsters, you know, it's real live shit that can go pop off. And I got that, but I didn't know how real it was going to get, or what they wanted to do, I should say. So Pac comes in and comes up to us and be like, you know, you guys are good. And looks at Aaron and says, don't stay long. Like dead up like that, don't stay long. And then hugged us and then went on stage. And he's my God, not knowing at that point he was my angel. He saved my life. I mean, I'm happy that Aaron stood up and grabbed and he was like, no, you know, but I'm mad that he brought me there anyways, you know, because he had a choice. You know, God always gives you a choice. Demons always give that you're blessed. Like I felt his aura, his heaviness. You feel that shit. I was devastated, you know, because in the beginning, I didn't know that he saved my life. I know he saved maybe an ass whipping because it looked like more than one wanted to kick my ass. But I didn't know the reason that they wanted to, you know, leave me to die. You know, the setup allegedly was to make it look like a gang thing, you know, beat her up to death, you know, and leave me on the side of the road somewhere. So that's what allegedly they were supposed to do. And whatever else, because there was dudes approaching. So it wasn't just a female, you know, she had dudes with her.
What was her purpose? The female.
To drag me out, to start it off. Remember, it's all about a look. So it's got to look like gang related, grabbing up another girl, dragging her out of the venue, and then whatever dudes and the guys beat me up, rape me, whatever they wanted to do, and leave me on the side of the road for dead. So.
Interesting. So, yeah, she has tons of conversations about.
Right.
Right.
Difference.
And I was like, Prince who? I would. And Lee and
Natalie. All of us. Me, Usher, Timber.
This is her telling a story about her turned down a threesome with Prince and his girlfriend.
Like he's the best.
Let me tell you a true story. The girl in your first video of the thong song, the main girl, she dated Prince. She introduced me to Prince.
You alive.
She had a tattoo on the belly. And
Natalie?
Yes.
You alive.
That I met.
She
I
did tell me
swear
that.
to God.
Forgot
I
about
met
that.
her.
Natalie,
I met
shout
her.
out to Natalie.
Shout
She's
out
from
to Natalie.
Baltimore.
She's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I went to pick her up. She lived in Miami, and I walked in. Prince was sitting there, and I was.
You alive.
I swear to God, true story. I swear to God. And I was only like, me and Natalie think I was 19, 20, and I met you at almost turning 21. And I was like, Prince who? Didn't know, you know? And we hung out many a times, and she was actually dating. She's short. He likes petite women. He has a look, and I'm not his type. But they did ask me to do a threesome, and I declined. I said, oh, no, thank you. Me 19.
Prince?
Yeah, but I didn't know. Later, I knew his music. Not to say that I would have slept with him, but we're talking about smacking cheeks. Have you ever?
So anyway, her story, if you can't kind of realize already, is that like she got sexualized a lot through the industry. She came in very early. She says people were fucking with her underage. And she dealt with a lot of abusive men and also people who pretty much took advantage of her youth and a lot of stuff like that. And it kind of went to social media a little bit. And let me see if I could get Uncle Luke, because this is why Uncle Luke matters in all this. Everybody's saying that 90s era of Uncle Luke with all them wild female stories, if those females came out and said the same things that they're saying about Diddy, this is another Me Too thing. So essentially what ended up happening is that Uncle Luke responded, and let me see if I could get to his response quickly.
Learn what the room in mean.
I'll just go to here we go. Here's Uncle Luke speaking about it.
what the grooming mean. I don't even know what the fucking grooming mean.
So he's addressing the grooming part.
Grooming. Fuck is grooming. They had to explain that to me. Y'all got the right one. I don't have no problem going to court. I'm not Russell Simmons. I'm not them other people. I don't do that. I know my brand. My brand is Luke, hey, we want some pussy. Face down, up, that's what like. Me so horny. The problem is when you know your brand and you know what you're singing about, you subject yourself to be in that kind of trap faster. So what you have to do is really not be about what those songs is talking about, because you can get yourself jammed up. I video everything. Everybody sign releases. I do shows. Ain't no underage people be doing no show with me. I fire girls. You get caught. I have chaperone for the girls, a one head dancer. It's always one head dancer. And she put everybody in check. So if you're doing, this is not a traveling whorehouse. So you gonna mess around with these other artists, you're gonna get sent home, sweetheart. You get fired. I just learned what the grooming mean. I don't even know what the grooming mean. Grooming. Fuck is grooming.
Okay. So, again, his name is coming up in it, right? Keep in mind, we're hearing people from the 90s. By the way, this that started at Cassie. Cassie met Diddy in 2005, 2006, right? It's now expanded because most of these lawsuits, given this law in New York, is coming from the 90s. Diddy caught 2 lawsuits in the 90s, right? The group sex thing that he was doing, Aaron Hall, in the 90s. Luke, from what I know, didn't catch a lawsuit. Luke's in Florida. So right now, we don't have anyone accusing Luke, but we have a bunch of people accusing Diddy. Aaron Hall's name is into it. A lot of other executives' names is in there. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. Now, let me go to Gloria Velez's Twitter, because she kind of kept tweeting out a bunch of stuff. She says, if you don't think grooming is happening in this business, you're sadly mistaken. It started in 1994 with Luke, but this is where she names him, and a few others in this business. I was in high school. Look, she posts her ID card. Her high school ID card from Stoneman Douglas High School, 1994. So if they were fucking with her in 1993 or 1994, she was in high school. Okay? She hasn't yet elaborated more, but if you kind of go to all her interviews, she has basically spoken about her abuse consistently. So this is why her naming Uncle Luke, that's coming up. Remember, Aaron Hall's already caught up in something with Diddy, but Aaron Hall's her baby daddy. And she's saying Aaron Hall was on some shit too. We could probably... By the way, she says she's been telling these stories for years. This is another podcast.
That's what I'm a big advocate against is educating people on stop blaming the victim. Start asking why the perpetrator is doing it.
Well, I mean, for my experience, and I'll talk about my 2 baby daddies, because everybody knows about them. They both were abusive in different ways. One very mental, psychotic, like you're talking about. He would not talk to me for days, play video games, literally isolate me, talk to women in my house. Mm-hmm. And a couple days later, like, hey, hon, what's up? Let's go to dinner. I'm like, looking at him like, motherfucker, you didn't talk to me for days. But to not have confrontation, and I'm pregnant, I went
Emotional.
along with it. I didn't want to cause any rift.
Boat.
By the way, we haven't heard a lawsuit that she might be filing, but it kind of gears up that she would most likely file a lawsuit, right? If she's kind of coming forward in the light she is. Given the fact she's been speaking about abuse for a long time, but she feels like no one would hear her voice, and she was ignored. But now this is a moment in time created by Cassie that people like her could speak up. Again, that's how the Me Too wave starts, right?
Right. So I was like, oh, okay. And isolate, did not speak or not, then he'll have mood swings. And I want to say this to a lot of football players and a lot of athletes. When they get injured, they pop a lot of pills because of the pain. Yeah, knee injury, back pain injury, concussions a few times. And they become addicted to these pills. And they're very mood swings, bipolar. And in one hand,
By the way, chat, I just checked, and not that it matters, but I seen a few people comment in the chat asking if she has an OnlyFans, because y'all seen that little link tree or all links, whatever, in her bio and Twitter. Yes, she does have an OnlyFans. She does. By the way, I'm not taking her having an OnlyFans meaning that she's lying or meaning that, she never was abused. Again, this is her telling her story. And we're going to connect it to a few things that seems to be happening. By the way, everybody's shitting bricks. All of these older executives that ran the 90s, all these guys that had this Playboy image, they're all shitting bricks because it's coming back around again. It's coming back around again. You get what I mean?
I was scared for my life because I thought he was suicidal and maybe he'll burn the house. I wouldn't sleep well. And I didn't trust him with the baby. So when people are like, why did you leave so early, or why did you break up? Because I was scared for my life. They don't got to actually put hands. And he tried one time. I was like, dude, you would go to jail. You would get shot. You would die. That was not happening again. But I tolerated the verbal and emotional abuse because I wanted it to work. I waited 15 years to have another baby, and I chose the wrong man again. And I was mad at myself, like, fuck again. We put all this pressure on. Everybody can be born wealthy, but even the wealthy people have some type of struggle. We all have. Right.
Watch some.
Okay. All right. So we see that's happening. We see other names getting thrown into the mix. Aaron Hall, Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke he look like he's standing on it. He's standing on business, or trying to, saying, hey, I ain't do none of this shit. And actually I have receipts. I never had no underage woman around. He's standing on it. Cool. Let's see what else. Now back to Diddy. Diddy's former security is now speaking up. He says this is not meant to be be threats or snitching or anything like that against Cassie or Diddy or anyone else. This is me telling my truth as I truly remember it, for two reasons. First, because I have 4 daughters. So on all dudes, on all whatever, my truth is as I see it, and I saw it and was involved with it for years. By the way, if you're wondering if he's a random, his name is mentioned here in Cassie's lawsuit. I could read the parts where it was relevant. In 2009, after Combs learned that Cassie spoke to another music manager at a party, he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her, but instead he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, he beat her, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping her face. Diddy's security staff, Roger Bonds, trying to stop the beating, right? That's his. By the way, that's his head security at the time. And by the way, Gene Deal fits in the story, but Gene Deal is before. He's in the Biggie era. This is post Biggie. Roger Bonds tried to stop the beating and was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, she attempted to run away, but Combs followed her and proceeded to kick her in the face. She was bleeding profusely and blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay. He was also mentioned here when it says Miss Ventura spoke to a popular music manager at an after party at a suite in Las Vegas, and Diddy saw her speaking to this manager and sternly told her to step into the bedroom in the adjoining suite. In the bedroom, he beat her severely. She ran from corner to corner of the room, trying to avoid Mr. Combs beating and kicking. When she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she was curled up under the toilet. Her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing outside the hotel suites. When Mr. Combs, head of security, which is Roger Bond, an assistant, saw Mrs. Ventura after the assault, they began to cry. Miss Ventura had 2 black eyes, a burst and a bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. Keep in mind, this is very important right here. Remember, Cassie's naming 2 people, and this is telling me a lot. I hope you guys are catching on too. The assistant who I've posted before, I think she's under an NDA. She can't say shit. Or we think she can't say shit. This is Diddy's assistant. Black women end up being sacrificed for the fuckery. Last 11 years of my life, I had to deal with everyone's nonsensical allegiance to the devil. This is the assistant. Mentioned in this lawsuit. This is the assistant. I pray that ends. I don't think highly of any of you. Can't keep your head down, pretend shit is cool no more. Do better. Okay? Now, keep in mind, if Cassie had went to trial, the assistant, I would imagine she would want to testify. She would want the assistant to testify. And Roger Bonds. The assistant is already sending sneak post. And then who just did it? As I said, Roger Bonds. Okay? So the people that Cassie mentioned are all kind of coming out and they're not saying it directly, but they're not saying that chick is lying. They all seem to say, I have something to say. Right? Again, if you ask me, I would imagine Diddy would be trying to hit up this security guard. This is him right here. And possibly will be trying to pay him off. His assistant seemingly is on an NDA. I would imagine Diddy would be trying to make sure this security guard got nothing to say too. By the way, I do think it's odd that Diddy has all his artists and everybody else, assistants and other people that work for him under NDAs. However, security guards never had NDAs because Gene Deal is talking up a bunch and looked like Roger Bond seemingly is going to talk and we got to assume he doesn't have an NDA. And maybe it's because like sometimes people deal with security different from like staff. You know, your staff, you'll give them an NDA, but security, because sometimes they're interchangeable, this and third, it's like a waste of time, right? That's how some people view it. But damn, they get to see the most. I always say the security and the driver, they know all the secrets, where all the bodies are buried, right? Okay. Wow. Now, that wasn't it. Okay, by the way, also, a random person message put this out there saying the hip-hop community has a greater problem with Diddy being possibly a bisexual man than if he was a possible predator, rapist, and abuser. And that's a true problem in our community and what we have to unlearn to combat rape culture. Diddy's sexuality is an issue. She's basically saying people are kind of flabbergasted that he might be gay or bisexual rather than saying, damn, Diddy is a predator. Again, I think, and to answer Mrs. right here, I don't think as much people as you might think are trying to act like that's the bigger part of the story. I think it's the most convenient part of the story because a lot of people are scared. That's the reality. They're scared to have that conversation. So if anything, people are like, oh, damn, oh, Diddy gay? Like, and then just move on from the topic rather than saying, you realize nobody wants to talk about Diddy and potential issues. Again, also, you know what I've heard too? A lot of people who won't, or some people who are very quiet, Diddy got files on them too. It's like Epstein Island. You get what I mean? Y'all niggas was doing creepy shit too. Y'all niggas got invited to the freak off. If you were in the freak off, you can't snitch on the freak off. If Diddy party with you, what you about to say? He gonna say, nigga, you was right there with me. Okay, now that's not it. It gets deeper, chat. Now, Gene Deal, yo, he's putting in work over Art of Dialogue. Art of Dialogue, shout out to you, my boy. Listen to this. He's talking about Diddy allegedly drugging people. This is crazy. Now, by the way, I want to give a disclaimer. This is a guy who used to work for him. This is not my personal belief. These are the testimonies of these people, and I'm listening to these allegations because these are serious allegations, if you ask me.
Yeah, this lawsuit is wild, man. You know, she also claims that, you know, Diddy, he was trying to control her personal life. And, you know, she was scared of losing her record deal if she refused his demands.
I could believe that. Yo, bro. I never seen him treat Ms. Lopez like that. You understand? Even when he was going behind her back and still dealing with Kim. He didn't want Kim to deal with nobody, bro. Like I said, I can't speak on Cassie or her statements like that, but I can reflect on the way he treated Kim. We would leave Jennifer's house. He would call a babysitter. If Kim was out on the town, we was going to every spot in New York City that the babysitter thought she was at. Do you hear me? Even when he wasn't dealing with her, he wanted complete control over her life, over what she did and how she did it. So that's not hard to believe. And plus she was way younger than Kim.
Wow, man. And me looking at this lawsuit, she say that, you know, Diddy, he forced her to do drugs. I mean, she recalled a time where, you know, Diddy gave her a blue pill and later on she found out that it was ecstasy.
That's one of Diddy's MO. I know a former record executive during the time that they gave Donna Ross that anniversary in California. One of his former record executives met with him. And I guess he was trying to pray with him or whatever. But he tried to give him a pill. That's his MO.
I'm gonna take a piss real quick, Chad.
He just showed you his hand. That's his MO, bro. All I can say is that he financed and supported the same thing he did with Cassie is the same thing he did with Kim. Made sure that the drugs was there.
And speaking of financing, right, she also said in this lawsuit that, you know, after Diddy would abuse her, he would buy her gifts.
I remember times going to, you know, he would never let us see him do the things to Kim. You know what I'm saying? Because unless we was in the hotel, because see, when he was in the hotel, when we went away, Puff always had the presidential suite. I had the suite right next to him. Like in the Swiss Hotel, the Ritz-Carlton, wherever he stayed at, stuff like that. Always stayed next to him because I was the one who had to open the door, let people in, let people out. When we go to Detroit, wherever we went, always had the room next to him. So my door had always had to stay open to the suite. So you wouldn't see him physically abuse them, but they may come out the room and you could tell something had happened. It's certain people that he wouldn't do his bullshit around. Heavy D, Wolf.
Hey, chat. Thank you for the donation. Who's this? Dragon, he says, "Ak, how come no one from the rock and roll community is getting sued? Why is it only black men getting attacked? It seems weird." No, that's not true. It's not true. I'm telling you, it's a time period. It's not necessarily hip hop. If you look at Axl Rose, got sued for alleged violent sexual assault by a former model. The lead singer, and by the way, that's Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. The lead singer from Aerosmith, okay, Steven Tyler, he got accused of sexual assault of a minor. You get what I mean? So again, I know we want to, like, we're focused right now, like we only care about hip hop, right? But is everybody getting sued? I think it was maybe a era of just not giving a fuck, or a era of that behavior seeming okay. If you get what I mean. Because it's no way all of this happened and no one called it out until now. Right?
And myself. But you could tell the after effect. So it's plenty of times that Kim ordered something at Gucci or whatever like that, and I had to go pick it up. Not saying that it was because he abused her all the time, but that's a form of what all rich billionaires, millionaires, rich bitches do when they do something to these girls. Buy them off, pay them off. I got you, Mom. Look, some guys think these girls will get their ass whooped by regular dudes in the street. Why not get your ass whooped by a millionaire? You'll get something out of it.
Okay, now
which is crazy.
This was even more explosive than the other. Again, salute to Art of Dialogue.
So, and that's what they would call it, freak-off sessions, when, you know, Cassie, she'll have sex with the male prostitute while he'll masturbate.
Yo, he gave this crazy, interesting angle, which I don't know why I didn't think about it first, because I'm like, damn. I was just constantly thinking about Cassie having sex with some of these dudes, not realizing, hey, connect the dots. He puts it together pretty good. Here you go.
Bruh, I can't say that. When I used to see him swing, it was always with him, another dude, and two girls. You know what I'm saying? When he was swinging with other people, you know what I'm saying? He always had other girls in the room or another guy in the room, even with his girl Kim, and he was swinging with her. So that freak off things, but him videotaping and everything like that, no, I can't say that I was privy to that. But you knew what was going on, you know, just in the instant when people got it confused when I said, when he was in the room with Sarah and her girlfriend, and he had Ja Rule and him in the room. Yo, I didn't know they was doing anything freaky until Ja came out and said, yo, y'all didn't want to be in there because there's a lot of freaky things going on. So I guess that was one of those freak off sections. But other than that, I couldn't say anything.
And you knowing Diddy, and at one point you and him was real cool. Do you believe everything she's saying about these freak-off sessions?
Listen, that girl went through some tumultuous shit that she never thought that she would ever have to go through being in the music business. Do you understand that? I've been next to people who are top in the game in the music business. And they had said to me, yo, I had to suck a lot of to get to this position.
What?
You understand? They have said that. So I can imagine what that little girl went through with old boy. She ain't lying that thing, because if she would have lied, he would have fought her tooth and nail. He would have fought her tooth and nail, bruh. Don't get it messed up, Art. He would have fought her tooth and nail. That little girl ain't lied nothing that. She ain't lied about none of that. Do you know what she's going through? She know what she's going to go through for the rest of her life? Her kids going to go back and see this on the internet?
Right. And she also said in this lawsuit, man, that, Diddy, he came off as a mentor, but later down the line, he became too controlling.
My position on him, he was never a father figure, bruh. You understand? He was a groomer.
We keep hearing that word, y'all.
He was an addict. He was somebody that was what you call those? I've lost all of my terminologies when I was working as a BCW or a child abuse worker. But he was an individual that preyed on this young girl, using her dreams, her talents, holding it hostage for his own benefit. He groomed her. He wasn't no father. He was no father figure to her, bruh.
And I think, is this the last one? Oh. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
No, Diddy, he made her hire and have sex with male prostitutes
This
while
what
he
I was
recorded it and masturbated.
Lights, camera, action.
Right here.
He do it all. Yo. What you gonna say about that, bruh? You understand? He didn't want it to come back to him in a way, he hiring the people. He gonna put it all on her. Cause she knew what he liked. Cause she wasn't just hiring it for her.
What?
Don't get that effed up, Art. If you think that she was just hiring those male prostitutes for herself, nah. Bruh, I was in one of those exotic bookstores with him. I saw this dude pick up butt plugs. And that's the first time I ever seen some shit like that. And when I said, yo, my man, what you getting this for? He said, can I do my shopping by myself? And I said, yeah. And when I looked up there, it said butt plugs. I bust out laughing and went to the front door. So you heard the rumors. I knew I used to wait outside of Turkish baths for him. You know what they do in the Turkish baths?
What?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. That's where a lot of gay men meet. And they all take hot baths together.
Now, it's crazy. Now, my boy 50 Cent, he don't give a fuck. He's still on Diddy's neck. He posted this picture right here, which shows Diddy with his pants down, And he said, yo, what kind of batty boy party is this? Bumbo Claude. Why you think I don't go to this? Now, I don't know if this is the party, to be fair. But 50 seems to be kind of hinting towards, I mean, not even hinting at this point. He's just saying it. And the last video I wanted to play was him talking about Danny Lee Kane.
Any man that tried to start a relationship with her.
Bruh. He know who to do that shit to. You understand what I'm saying? It's certain dudes that he'll do that to because he could get away with it quick enough, or he got somebody behind him, or he got some people there. They no matter gonna take his weight for. It's only so far he gonna go himself. It's only so far he gonna go himself. So now you know he gonna come at you hard, try to play it off, because he know if he do anything and it comes back to him, it's a lawsuit. He slapped somebody, hit somebody, that's a payday for them. But he'll make up that whole atmosphere, and then he'll look at one of the bouncers or look at somebody a certain way, and they'll take over his mess. So I could see him coming at somebody hard like that. But by himself, he ain't gonna bust a grape in a wine factory. But he don't have to.
Right. But I want to ask you, right? And I know you ain't signing. I know you ain't signing NDA, clearly. But did he make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him?
Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists.
Okay. Now, I know some of this shit is kind of unbelievable. And by the way, you know, I'm processing the information myself, so I don't even want to, you know, again, I gotta say this because I don't want these motherfuckers trying to sue a nigga. But let me tell you, man, we got to start thinking about the 90s as a, you know, as a different time. You know, some of our heroes. I mean, shit, people have even gone back to even question Hove. In 2007, Hove did an interview, and this is what he said.
When I met her.
Well, don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago.
Now, I want to keep this. You want to keep this in mind. This interview was in 2007. He's talking about when he met his now wife Beyonce.
I met her 10 years ago.
Okay.
But you
how
know,
long have you known her?
Wow, a long time.
How long? 10 years?
However long she's been recording. That's when I met her.
Well, don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago.
Okay, so he said 10 years ago. Now, by the way, this obviously could, you know, just be a mistake. But we could possibly just look up when was Beyonce born. Remember, 10 years ago from 2007 would be 1997, right? And if Beyonce was born in 1981, how old would she be in 1997? Now, you don't have to take a genius to figure out the math. If she's born in 1981, in 1997, she would be about 16 or 17. Now, again, this could be a Freudian slip by Jay-Z. And also, because he met her then doesn't mean he dated her then. Which I think he clarifies he dated her, like, not exactly when he met her, But then some people use the word or the term. The term would. Let's move on. One more time.
When I met her.
Well, don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
Was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago. But
did you say to yourself at that time, "Wow"?
I said, yeah, that's a fantastic talent.
Was that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. Because
You saw talent before you saw talent before you saw anything
Yeah,
else.
because she was singing like a rapper. It was her first song with Wyclef, and she was singing really fast, and I was like, why is she singing so fast, and how is she? And then she was on key and everything. I was like, oh, that's a talented person right there.
Yeah. Back to Sony. You said people speculate about.
By the way, in 1997, her song with Wyclef, so it looked like it was 10 years ago. Which is 1997, which, let's do it one more time. Let's move on. Chad, don't blame me. The fuck? I ain't do nothing. All right, people. Damn, okay. That's a lot of shit going on out here, man. What are y'all taking of this? Let's see. Remember the woman who came out recently and was like kind of supporting, Cassie and shit like that, who allegedly was like really good friends with the now deceased baby moms of Diddy, Kim Porter. Her name is Kimora Simmons. Remember, by the way, recently back and forth, the kids were beefing with him and whatever. And she was saying how much of whatever about him. When did they meet? They first met in 1992. He was 35. She was 17. A sophomore in high school. By the way, a lot of people say she was way younger than that. Some people say she was 14. I don't know. Interested. Someone said, hold up. We can't be laughing about topics like this. Nigga said, how the hell she's a 17-year-old sophomore? Bruh. Hey, it's happening. I think a lot of people who thought that, some of their behavior, and I could imagine how old was Aaliyah when she dated, I don't know, whoever. Let me not start no more. All right, man. Okay. All right. Should we back away from this for a little bit? We're not trying to get the car bomb planted. Hey, the point is this. I think some of the most powerful people in the game ultimately went through a period and participated in behavior that now in this time and age we would probably consider creepy, predatorial, and really grooming a lot. Like, yeah, like if y'all were meeting y'all future wives or baby mamas before they were even 18, and whether y'all claimed it was under the guise of making music or whatever the case is, you know, like, again, it's like a lot of people felt like Tiger groomed Kylie, right? Like, nigga, you know what I mean? I remember Charlemagne infamously, he coined the term. It was like, yo, you red shirt the pussy. That's it. That was happening a lot. But no one has really spoken about these allegations or really brought up the creepiness in it. Obviously, R. Kelly, I told you, R. Kelly got ostracized. But a lot of people who, I'm not saying that they're exactly R. Kelly, but may have some questionable dating choices, or you could probably accuse them of grooming too. A lot of them went skating underneath the radar, and I think a lot of shit is about to come up, or a lot of payments are going to be made. Honestly, if you ask me, most of these dudes are the richest people in the culture, and they could probably pay all these motherfuckers off. I think we played this already. Again, I don't even think that the interesting part is, you know, kind of acknowledging that
Puff had a brownstone, I believe, like, on 35th Street and like Park Avenue between Park. It's some brownstones down there. I believe 35th or 36th, and Mace was staying there, and I went to use the bathroom, and it was a dildo on the bathroom sink. And when I came out, I asked him what's about. He like, that's homeboy's joint. You know, I don't know what it's about. He always have girls over here, but I don't know. I said, well, this on your sink. This is your bathroom. You're using this bathroom. I don't know where his bathroom at. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's word to my son, because stop breathing. I swear to God.
But you know what? Guys use dildos on girls sometimes.
That's true.
We seen some.
What he said. I'm not saying he didn't.
Right.
I'm
You just seen it on the sink. It was just awkward.
I'm not saying that it was for either one of their personal use. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Okay.
Puff had a brownstone, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, this might just be a lot about nothing. Because I think there's a lot of people that are hoping there's going to be, like, some type of person or figure that's going to stand up and say, hey, listen, we need to have a conversation about this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is why a lot of people play ball in the industry, because at the top, you know, and this is what I personally believe, any type of, when people think about Illuminati, this is what it really is. The people at the top want to stay at the top, and they want to keep, and the way they stay at the top is to keep the people below isolated, beefing with each other, and not focusing on them. So the people who you would expect to speak up against Diddy that were his peers and also powerful, they won't. They probably have their own skeletons. And none of them are going to really rock the boat, you know, and no pun intended, to make anything substantial or even have this conversation on a bigger level, because it's not one of them was doing it. I think all of them were doing it. It's not like it's like the steroid era. Like, there's only a few motherfuckers who actually came out and called it out, and those were the only ones not taking steroids. They missed out on the boat. Everybody else was like, well, we didn't see nothing. Yeah, because it was an era of debauchery. There was an era of creepiness. There was an era where people thought it was okay And I don't know if it was accepted or it was looked upon as like dope or cute to have some like, super young girl with you. I don't know. Give me 1 second. Let me see. What the fuck? Gotta make sure I get to everything. I don't want to switch topics without. Wait, where is it? Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you haven't seen this clip either. Have y'all seen this clip, chat? Again, in the 90s, I was a baby, nigga. I don't know what's going on. Like, hey, listen, I'm just doing some Googling. I'm just figuring the shit out with y'all. So don't get mad at me. You feel me? Don't get mad at me. What's your favorite rappers was doing in the 90s? Give me 1 second. I'll post it a bit. Let me see what else. By the way, let me read some donations if there's any. Cannabis Kicks, thank you for the 5. It says, I was close to a member of the first season of Making a Band, and all I'm going to say is that he kind of followed in Puff's footsteps, but he got caught. Who was that? And is that Making a Band? Yeah, that was Making a Band. So that's the band, right? Who followed in his footsteps? You talking about Chopper City? Brian Morton, thank you for the $4.99. He says, look into Diageo. By the way, somebody told me I was saying that name wrong the whole time. Diageo's lawsuit with Diddy and then wanted to step down. Well, right now, they don't want him to step down because of these allegations. They don't want to, they're going to spend a shit ton of money on the next quarter or the next year, the next fiscal year, in terms of marketing the product, De Leon. And again, remember it's a joint venture, and Diageo, they put up money. Before, every time they put up money for marketing, Diddy was always the face of the brand. So it was money promoting Diddy being the face of the brand, and now they're coming back to say that is no longer viable because of what's going on with him. Have y'all seen this, chat?
Age was Foxy Brown's son.
I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
But that's
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I'm
I'm
just asking a question.
I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everything.
You the boss.
Yo, don't beat around the bush. Say what you want.
I'm
to
just
say. What do you mean by that question?
I'm just asking.
What are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating. I just asked a question.
I
thought Foxy was like 16. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you.
All I'm saying is in this industry, we live in these glass houses.
It seems like you got a question for Jay. Ask her. Y'all
Bingo.
keep asking me questions. Want to?
You heard what Nick Cannon said, right? This industry we listening to, we living in glass houses.
Ask him, because he ain't here. Ask him. I ain't got to do with that, and I don't even know nothing about that. You playing.
You my man.
I know, not with me. When you say that Foxy was 16 when she got signed, why did you say that just now?
When I first was introduced to who Foxy was, I thought there was something between Foxy and Jay.
Yeah, Jay.
At what age?
I got timestamps.
I sell companies. There's men that don't sell companies their whole life, don't know what it
Y'all
means.
sell records. I sell companies.
I think that's the whole thing. I think we watch the whole thing.
At what age was Foxy Brown signed?
I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
But that's
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I know
Stop
you did.
putting
I'm
me
just
in that.
asking a
You keep
question.
asking because I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everybody. I don't know
You the
nothing about
boss.
that. Yo, don't beat around the bush.
You're definitely too young if you don't know who Foxy Brown is.
Say what you want
I'm
to say.
just
What do you mean by that question?
I was just asking.
What are you insinuating?
I'm
when
not
you ask me
insinuating.
about
I just
Foxy
asked the
Brown?
question.
I
thought Foxy was like 16. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you.
All I'm saying is in
like
this industry, when we live in these glass houses.
It seems like you got a question.
This is one of the reason. This is the reason why I personally believe that it's not gonna happen. Really, you know what I mean? I think all of the relevant people are going to, like, they all live in glass houses. So it's like, if they celebrate Puff coming under fire, what does it mean for them? You know what I mean? Because it's not going to end with Puff. As I just mentioned to y'all, they mentioned Uncle Luke, they mentioned a few other people. So it's going to keep continuing. So it is what it is.
Question for Jay. Ask him. Y'all keep asking me questions y'all want to ask him because he ain't here. Ask him. I ain't got shit to do with that, and I don't even know nothing about that. You playing. You my man. I know not with me. You playing. When you say that Foxy was 16 when she got signed, why did you say that just now?
When I first was introduced to who Foxy was, I thought there was something between Foxy and Jay.
Oh, you gotta ask Jay. But that's the question you're trying to ask me.
But
You're a funny cat. I ain't know. I forgot you was that funny.
All right. Crazy shit. All right. Let me see. What? Somebody said what? Somebody said Foxy said Jay gave her STD. No, she didn't. What? No, that's not true. What the fuck?
At what? Foxy suffered from Gunner during that indecent relationship. Well, those are some heavy claims, but sit tight, guys. We've got all the deets, so let us break it all down for you. Ronnie Bo, a fellow inmate of R. Kelly, had some interesting conversations with Kelly while serving his sentence in jail. According to Kelly, the rumors going around in the industry are worse than the actual thing that happened with Aaliyah. He explained that the media took a narrative and hyped it up so badly that its sole purpose became to destroy him and his career.
He just wanted people to know.
Media saying,
R. Kelly point was up in there like.
The viciousness of this story sickened me to my stomach. Any and everyone involved will be contacted by my attorney. In all my years, he is such a wonderful person to her then why himself to expose Kelly for exploiting her innocence. I think he began to feel the pressure because people were saying my age. The age thing 15, 14, and after a while that gets to a person. The Jay I know, the Sean I know never comes out of character. So for that, and that's my point, that's where the tears came from earlier because people don't understand that it does affect people more than you think.
Even them others.
And then the truth backed up with facts. Sad, but many men fall into these. Foxy Brown has a memoir coming out in December. You might not care. It's calling up on the most controversial moments of her history and life in hip-hop. Now, yeah, she hit it before Beyonce. Allegedly, the talk show queen is widely known for her tea at the Little B Show.
Making Pac feel like he
had also gone.
Just saying.
Well, 16, and he said that she was going to be.
All right, man. All right, chat. Shit's crazy. Anyway.